Welcome to the parody, where we tell it, the victims, and all our favorite movies. I'm not James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Rattle Part 1, released in 2022. Rattle Part 1 is, the first part to the overarching Rattle movie. It's a film more focused on telling you their stories and personal struggles before the action sets in next film. It also features the inciting incident for what will become the film. The film's main characters are Nia Simone and Isaiah Johnson. One is an avid SCP researcher, and the other is an SCP escapee. Together, they'll basically have to gather up some info about the SCP. But that's not really what the film is about. It's partly about the horror of being in a situation like this. A kid just being recruited for basically borderline abusive experiments. And some of these scenes are just borderline terrifying to sit through. This movie is really fucked up in some sense of the word. And admittedly, that's part of what I love about this movie. It takes risks constantly. It never slows down with the pace. And also, it's really just like an awesome movie in general. I'd even place it second. There is excellent animation, gorgeous cinematography, some awesome writing, surprisingly a lot of bangers on the soundtrack, and considering that this entire franchise usually doesn't have it, good voice acting too.
We have a live witness on scene now to offer his testimony.
Shit, man. There was like this big explosion that just hit town. I was just taking someone's orders when, out of nowhere, everything shook and went blue. And then I saw this bright glow in the woods just outside of town.
There's also another region where this movie kicks ass. Kills. Some of them are downright awesome, and if they have a boring method, they have some nice choreography to go along with it. I sincerely recommend that you pause right here and go watch the movie for yourself. How many people died when you let 1/1000th of your possessions go rampant in Ozark, Missouri? Let's find out and get to the kills. The movie begins with a Snapplecap recap of Ember, which sits at a 6 out of 10, making it one of the lowest viewed films in the Time Hero cinematic universe. All the supers that were let out of the SCP are currently being hunted to extinction. One exception to this is our title character. This then cuts to a helicopter flying into Site A in 1963. Hey yo, soldier, can you order a dead body? It's several hours after the raid, and they're packing in supplies just so they can repair the other site that they had lost. Charles Black is only arguing with another soldier. A female soldier then goes up to him. She has to tell him about all the financial damage they had suffered. The facility will have to take a few months, if not a year, to rebuild. The main generator was practically destroyed and they couldn't salvage much at all, and the serum supply room was completely wiped out. Other soldiers notice a live soldier being carried in by guys with gas masks. She's a female soldier, but the captain figured out that she wasn't listed on the platoon assigned to this facility. She's still alive though. They can't get into contact with Ismus, but he isn't dead, and they've also tracked 2 pairs of footsteps going in opposite directions in the forest. Charles Black wants them to be brought back to him alive. Charles Black wants this girl to be patched up and to bring her on the truck to Site B. They'll have to do a bit of investigating to find out what's going on here. Holy shit, it's a glowing guy. Isaiah Johnson is laying down in bed, struggling to sleep, but damn, is he muscular. His sleep struggling is caused by voice acting. He then wakes up in his world of nightmares? Please be beware of guys who might jump scare into existence. Or 2 for that matter. And even more that you should look out for. There's even a nightmare-inducing burnt boy that makes them puke. Also, none of these Vietnamese soldiers are being added. We never met them. What about the 3D one that makes him, whoa, wake up? It's sunrise, so he needs to go into town. He needs to take a brief glance at his SCP papers first. Oh, come on, Isaiah, it's important to be a fucking flannel. And also, it's important to get that backpack on. and make sure you have your head sturdy. Yep, there it is. Isaiah, I don't know if flexing your fire powers is gonna do anything. Walking into town obviously requires a ton of card to do. The main portion of the movie takes place in 1970. Nia Simone is introduced, trying to find things to write about. What about the hyper-realistic animated Roblox bird? Obviously it doesn't look great, but it's a Roblox first. It's not gonna look great the first time around. Nia decides that the bird is the word. Nia then gets to the rest of her day. Her days include hiking, getting berries and grapes from bushes, dropping sticks into lakes that make the shot transition in a very cool way, getting water from that same creek, and logging down trees in the forest. She prepares to get out of there until she hears some rustling from the bushes. It's a bear that she immediately uses her powers on. Isaiah is at a restaurant when they see a sudden blue shock come into their building. This left 2 people dead, as seen in this car crash. Isaiah leaves to find the blue light emanating from the forest. He has the same mentality as the cops. Go and find what caused this. Nia finds that she just completely obliterated that bear. She starts crying as she realizes what she's done. Even a face wash-up can't even get that sadness off her face. Later that night, she's just alone by her fire. Her hand decides to freak out though. Ooh, it even turns red. But then she hears Isaiah coming onto her territory. He's looking around for the person he saw while that blue thing was going off, and he suspects that, this may be of a person. Nia then comes out and gets startled by the sudden intruder. She threatens him by saying that she knows how to use that hand of hers. Isaiah says that he's here not to hurt Nia. She's shocked by that. She asks him all these questions like, how does he know her name? How did he find her? Because of the rumors in town that there's some strange activity going on in the area. And also that Site B isn't too far off from this place. And the light show, so yeah, he's shocked that he got to her first. He says his name is Isaiah Washington, but well, that's not what the wiki told me. It's been about 380 days since Isaiah first started searching for Nia. He says that he's like her and then flexes those fire powers on the audience. She happy. They then start hugging. Oh, he blushing. She's just glad that she's not the only one with these types of powers. She never was the only one with these types of powers. There's actually a handful of them. Unfortunately, a majority of them are dead. Apparently, the SCP themselves took them out, but it's only the ones that escaped. He asks her if she remembers her escape, and that kicks off the first flashback of the film. 6 years before, in 1963, she was escaping from Site B. 5 soldiers are currently shooting at her, but they can't seem to phase her. Let the counting continue. She throws 2 swords, which hit an impact on 2 soldiers. 2 more come from electricity that manages to get them both down pretty quickly. And the 5th and last one is definitely my favorite out of this whole bunch. She uses it to decimate his head to oblivion, which she just then keeps there and throws to the side. Charles Black then comes on the intercom.
Would like to advise all surviving personnel once again, do not attempt to reach the exits. Either find a safe area or go into one of the many evacuation shelters inside the facility.
A short little flashback comes on about the time when Tanya Simone died. He'd be given the nod. He'd be given the shot. Off screen, of course. Isaiah's been trying to gather all the remaining survivors. Oh, just take on the Mega Corporation, okay. Nia walks away from Isaiah just to get some firewood. That's because she doesn't really want to stop the SCP. She doesn't want to end up like the others who are dead. So she's just fine with how things are at the moment. She goes to town. The resulting scene doesn't really add that much to the plot, but I still want to talk over it for some reason. She sees the powers that the SCP gave her as more of a curse, not that much of a gift. We cut to SCP Black site on Isla de Mona, Puerto Rico. Charles Black asks where whoever he's talking about is, and the guard says he's inside, so he has to open the gates. The SCP claims to be working together to research a newer and safer future, but I don't know what a newer, safer future would hold if you just had, just girls locked down in your basement. That sounded out of context. This girl is obviously in a really bad condition. She's even saying that it hurts. She even wants it to stop, but it's not gonna happen. This scene is both terrifying as fuck and also really fucked up. Our test subject in her mind is looking up at a bright light. The thing named Alice is telling Zoe Brooks that she's been a major help to them and the country. Next thing we know, we're at the Serum X injection in 1965. She shakes violently. We go back 2 years to 1964. We're outside isolation chamber number 2. And this is where the scene gets really fucked up. We see a girl just locked inside this room. I would also like to pause the music for a second. We cut to an extremely uncomfortable, violent convulsion. We go at least 3 years later to 1966, where they are being enlisted to MK Ultra. You fucking idiots! Coffee's not gonna do anything! We get to the most fucked up part of the entire scene, where she's just laying on the ground, just more uncomfortable convulsions while she's reaching out for all of her friends. Frost, Malcolm, no, they just rather walk away from Rogue and go into the white light. This researcher says that the drugs and serum will deteriorate her brain and that he doesn't know how much more she can take this. However, Cyrus doesn't care at fucking all. Dude, you're just a fucking scumbag. Shut the fuck up. Rogue then starts doing more uncomfortable convulsions until it cuts back to Zoe Brooks. She's then placed near the shore, in which she just wakes up on the surface. She sees something in the distance, however, but she needs to confirm it. So she rubs her eyes and then looks again. So where'd the thing go? Right behind you, just ready to fucking choke her! This thing is the Mindwalker, or as I will now call them, the ultimate bastard. However, she subsides for her Mindwalk experience. The only thing the Mindwalker has to say is breathe. Big-ass motherfucking bastard Cyrus comes in and says that she can only shock her for so long. So, that's the end of that. And also, what I will say is the end of Zoe Brooks' life, subjected to many years of SCP torture under Charles Black. I would now like to restart the music and basically just rant about Charles Black and Cyrus. While Cyrus did show more signs of being an actual human in Crisis, they just flung that out the window and decided that Cyrus Smith and Charles Black would be both a motherfucking evil scumbags. Which, if I'm not mistaken, was never seen in Crisis for Cyrus Smith. These two guys are basically now the most pure embodiment of evil I've ever seen in anything. With all of that out of the way, that's the only issue I basically have with Rattle Part 1. And that Zoe Brooks scene was probably my favorite scene in the movie. Fuck, probably the entire franchise. Charles and Cyrus need to have a very serious talk. It's about the serum, and he's been making some modifications to the current serum, which Charles is pissed at. He's ran into an issue with the current serum, though. Charles Black basically indirectly confirms the death of Zoe Brooks and 6 others, who won't be counted. So Charles gets even more pissed out that he says that the old serum is outdated and that it doesn't work anymore. Him and Cyrus go way back in. He doesn't want to be an asshole to him, but I guess he says that Cyrus doesn't realize what they're on the brink of. Cyrus has basically created a gene-enhancing drug and uses that to compare their army of children to the war. He is a friend to Cyrus, but he is a shithead boss in a chair. However, a soldier comes in talking about Rattle. Let's see if we can get in a 3 hours later transition. Isaiah's just been walking down the street. Meanwhile, this tavern is a happening place, all in charge of Randy. He sees the news come on, giving us another brink of voice acting.
Welcome back to ABC News with Daniel Maitland. Earlier today, as citizens of Ozark, Missouri were going about their daily lives, their city suffered a massive 6.5 earthquake across the entire region.
Jay, get up!
The news reporter says that the quake killed 6 people, leaving 1 unaccounted for. I'm gonna put that on the count right now. Yeah, you see the graphics on screen. After that, 2 patrons leave the bar, reminding me of how enjoyable the town is in this movie. After that, Nia walks in. Then all the people in the bar just go and look at Nia for some reason. Randy's familiar with her though. She's in here because of the news, replaying what had happened. He wants her to talk to him for what's wrong. It's ours, that damn bear. Randy tells her that she shouldn't be out there in the forest, but with them. They could get her a job, some money, and a place. She can even crash at Randy's place in the meantime. Randy is basically just an opposite Charles Black, because we never see him lash out at anger once in the entire franchise. Nia takes in the possibility of accidentally killing more people, or even worse, him. And she doesn't want to lose him after her parents. And also, what about the man in the forest who's been looking for her in a year and knows about all of them? Oh yes, the people she told him about. She feels as if they're closing in, and she's scared because they've been hunting her for a long time. The last thing she needs is him to be brought up in this mess. Oh hey, don't we already go through that scene? But also, she told him no. Randy can let Nia in on a little something he has. It's about the purpose of life. I'll let you read that as I talk over it here. Yeah. He wants his niece to get into a good college, but he wasn't really big on education, but barely finished high school, but he just wanted to start a business one day. Then he had found out his niece was born, and her parents aren't exactly the best. He had done a better job parenting her than her mother and father would ever do. Oh, and she also loves him. Not in a weird way, though. He wants to give her the opportunity of everything she deserves, so that's why he's 56 and working at the tavern, and trying to raise money for the best college tuition ever. He sees a strong, kind-hearted woman in her, and the people, whoever they really are, the thing that they've done to Nia, it's just not right. And since her story is already available to him, he still stands by it, and they need to stop. And the last thing he wants is more of her coming in here. Yeah, let's get happier now. Yeah, give her some of that beer. Or whatever other drink it is. Also, that one was on him. How about we check what happened to everyone else 7 years prior? Because Ismis has a flashback that takes her to the lower levels of Site 8 in 1963. Oh, I can put those weird, wacky graphics all around the screen. Our beginner bodies are free that we see in the foreground or background. Oh boy, I don't have 2 graphics in succession. Oh wait. 2 more soldiers die from someone else and Nancy's portal action. When Rogue can't hold off the SCP soldiers for that long, Jet has a plan. Wait, Jet, I don't know if you also consider that dead body that was right next to you. Oh, you see, with his bow and arrow, he can shoot all the soldiers, starting with this one. He then runs over to score another 3 kills with the bow, which our second one is from that guy. The third is from that guy who got, arrow to the neck, and finally, that soldier right there. Oh god, Jet's a danger! Jet's all out of arrows, so he needs to find more ways to get more kills than Ember. Rogue comes up this SCP soldier and starts strangling him. That's only to get himself to hold his gun and shoot himself in the face. But don't you worry, killing's not over. Rogue puts up a shield to defend herself from the bullets, which only go into another SCP soldier. Bloop. All of the soldiers are here and ready to surround her. But this guy comes in and gives all of them some flesh wounds. Unlucky for them, however, more come in. Already dead person aside, we can get to a fight. There's really about nothing to talk about here, but it's just kind of like a cool fight scene. Even the Time Hero Cinematic Universe staple. Isaiah, dude, your flashback's over. How many kills did we count? You dummy, you can't remember. We can go back to Nia's place, whatever. She be boiling water and eating. Wait, the water's burning. There's also fire. Oh no, does this mean another flashback? We go back to Richmond, Virginia in 1961. That's where she was causing havoc. No, I'm not gonna count that until we see more. I mean, alright, since we see more, I can kinda count it. So, I'm adding 3 right now. That guy just got killed. An SCP specialist is coming on to the radio with any station being required. So, Site B is being overruled, so they have to fire up a flare gun. And also, I've waited till now to count 3 bodies that I've never seen before. Like, seriously, who were these guys? A specialist spots her, so she has to run out of the city. SCP specialist, please shut up. She hasn't She's definitely gone a long way outside the city, and there's still at least 3 of them chasing after her. It can't stop them from catching up to her. She quickly retaliates and kills all 3 of them right there. Above her, there are helicopters making their way to Richmond. And also this one that has the sole purpose of hunting her down. It fires an action movie's worth load of bullets, but that isn't gonna stop Neo from escaping. Also won't stop her from firing this blue round of electricity that hurtles up towards the helicopter and proceeds to explode it right up there in the air. It then impacts in the trees. What do I have to tell you, soldiers? Stop ruining her big moment! Of course, they find one of her corpses. These guys know that she's near, so they want to find her and hunt her down and kill her. Yeah, girl, run away. In order to escape, she took a different path than the soldiers hunting her down. I mean, wow, look at those losers. Her path goes into some beautiful backgrounds. But she literally just trips off a rock and falls down this insanely steep cliff into the river. She better not end up in Old Porch Town, if you know what I mean. What follows is a nearly 1.5-minute long scene of her struggling to get air and struggling not to get air inside the river. I just gotta show all of this just because, like, come on, it's amazing. She then realizes that she is miles and miles away from the nearby civilization. And that's how she basically ended up near Ozark, Missouri in 1970. She appears to be doing a bit fine now, but she's still miles and miles away from civilization. She tries to get her power arm to work, but it just won't budge. Because of her failure arm, I mean, she just starts getting mad. She gets a little anger out by just throwing a rock, but that's not gonna do anything. She then starts crying until the rock just all of a sudden starts glowing. Maybe she can generate blue glowing rocks in her hands. Her rock throwing and generating skills cause her to have a genuine moment of joy. That's where we go back into town. Randy's come out here to put up a sign saying that the bar is closed, but strangely enough goes back inside. He puts something in a bag, but that's right when he hears some sort of noise. He looks around with a gun only to find that it's Nia. He can't have her sneaking up on him like that, like, you know, remember when this place was last robbed? What he had said to her earlier had finally gotten back to her, but, I mean, I guess. She doesn't really have any other point to live other than just living. He asks her some questions like, does she need a place to sleep in? Do I need to take you back to the forest? He's just confused why she's here at the moment. She just needs to tell Randy something. She says that she's sorry, but Randy doesn't know what she is sorry about. She's sorry about getting him involved in all of this, and that he knows way too much at the moment. So, it's not really a big deal breaker to him. He tells her to think of it this way, because if she decides to go through with this, then yeah, he'll be right by her side to testify for her. But after that, he goes into another state. She asks him if he's okay, but he just responds with bringing out his gun. He says he's okay, but he proceeds to cock his gun. The movie ends in a very depressing and heartbreaking way. Randy decides to commit suicide right then and there inside the tavern by shooting himself in the head. Come on, guys. Let's just get to the numbers already. 37 people died in Rattle Part 1, with the victims consisting of 24 dudes, 2 women, and 11 of unknown gender, giving us one of the most varied pie charts I've seen on the show in a while. Comparing this to every other Time Heroes films, this one just stays 2 above in the Injustice Armageddon. Fallen Kingdom, your reign can still stay. With a runtime of 87 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 2.35 minutes. Aim of his flamethrower will definitely have to go to the 5th Site Beast Soldier. That kill is phenomenal, and we freaked out about it in the premiere. Broken Pistol is definitely gonna have to go to the last Ozark resident killed in the earthquake. We didn't even see them die. And that's it. Rattle Part 1 was released in 2022, and Part 2 is coming out in just a few months. I'll definitely make a count on that, but until next time, I'm not James A. Janice, and this has been the parody. Thanks for watching this parody. I'm gonna keep this little outro short, but the reason why that one hasn't come out is because of storage issues. That's all. Thanks for watching.